Good morning.
Good morning.
We are here with Ms. Gilmore, and it is June 27, 2014. And Ms. Gilmore, on behalf of Congressman Gerald Connolly, I want to thank you for being a part of his project that he has initiated. And it's to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And what Congressman Connolly has initiated is an archive of videotapes where we go and we interview persons that were involved in the civil rights movement, that had to live through Jim Crow and the struggles of segregation. And so you were one of those heroic people who decided to say equality was something that we needed, and you protested and you were a part of the activism movement, and then later became a professional and really worked in the community. So we are excited about hearing your testimony for this project. Just to let you know, your testimony, as others, will be housed at the Library of Congress, also at George Mason Folklore Program, and the libraries of Fairfax County and Prince William County, Virginia. So again, on behalf of Congressman Connolly, I want to thank you for your participation.
Well, thank you for allowing me to participate. It's an honor.
So you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
Well, let's start first by you giving us your full name, where you currently reside, and your year of birth.
My full name is Winifred Jordan Gilmore. I reside at 5524 Davis Ford Road here in Woodbridge, Virginia. And my date of birth is February 21st, 1940.
Okay. So let's start from the very beginning. Where were you born? Where were you raised? And what was life like growing up in a segregated community in the South?
I was born in a little town that not too many people hear about, Hopewell, Virginia. And it's an industrial town. Well, it was mainly industrial at that time. My parents got married, and my father moved to Hopewell because that was the place where most of the people were able to earn a decent living at one of the industrial plants. And he worked at Hercules Powder Company for 42 years. I am one of 6 children. I'm the youngest of 3 daughters, and I have 3 brothers. I'm the 4th in the lineup of 6 kids. As I said, my parents were wage earners. My father, I don't think, ever earned much more than $10,000 a year in his entire career. But my parents were very forward thinkers. And they wanted all of us to do better than they were allowed to do. I grew up in Hopewell, as I said. I went to Arlington Elementary School, had some wonderful teachers. And from there I went to high school, Carter G. Woodson. It was, there were 2, of course everything was separate but equal, quote unquote. And the elementary school was interesting because we had teachers who were very caring, and most of us, for the most part, grew up in the same community, so everybody knew everybody. They sometimes would visit our homes and talk to our parents about our progress. My parents were very involved in the PTA activities, and we were taught early in life that you have to do all you can to try to make life a better place. And my parents were not afforded the opportunities that they were trying to make sure that we had growing up. So there were times when maybe we didn't have everything we thought we should have, but because we got clothing outfits twice a year. That was at the beginning of school, and usually around springtime, Easter time. So we always look forward to those good times. We were brought up in the church. That was very key to our upbringing, and we participated in church activities. as children. When I went on to high school, I continued with that growth that our parents wanted us to have. And high school was interesting because we were given things that were cast-offs from the white high school, Hopewell High School, which was the white high school. And I remember very vividly sitting in our auditorium one day. It was a multi-purpose room. It was a gymnasium and auditorium. And I wondered why our school colors were maroon and gray, but our curtains in the auditorium were navy blue. Those were the school colors of the white high school. Their colors were navy blue and gold, so we got their cast-offs when they got new curtains. And some of our band instruments were sort of ragtag, but we did the best we could with what we had. And it was enjoyable because the teachers made us feel special. I was a part of the a cappella choir for the 4 years I was at Carter G. Woodson High School. We didn't have a 12th grade school at that time, curriculum. We only went to the 11th grade. I don't know why that was, but it was what it was. But during that time, our teachers were very caring, and I can remember there were so many times our teachers would spend extra time with us after school to ensure that we had the quality of education that they thought we deserved and that we needed to be survivors. I can remember very vividly one of my teachers, he was my science teacher, Dr. Calvin Thigpen, who went on to become an attorney as well as a physician. He would always say to us, whatever you do, even if you are a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger there ever was, so someone can say, so-and-so dug that ditch. So make sure you make your mark in history. And that was very impressionable. I was able to finish high school, and it was a small school. So the class, my graduating class, I think was no more than 32, 33. And I was fortunate enough to be the valedictorian of my class. So of course, everybody expected so much of me that it put a lot of pressure on me, and I just felt like I can't let anybody down. My teachers, my parents, my neighbors, church members, because everybody knew everybody, you know. If something went wrong, you know, you're Clifton and O.C. Jordan's daughter, aren't you? Yes. So, as a result, we were always in the limelight. So I went to college, Virginia State University, which was then Virginia State College, and I studied business education. Not that I wanted to study education, I wanted to study business administration. But my dad said, well, you know, in today's environment, if you are going to get a job, you need to have an education background. I said, okay, all right. But I knew within my heart of hearts, I was not an educator. And so I went on and I studied education, and somehow we, you know, I really can't remember other than when all of the interest and the news and everything came about what the young men at Greensboro, North Carolina were doing, and we thought, wow. I can remember visiting some of my my parents' relatives in North Carolina at that time, and they started talking to us about Greensboro, and I thought, what is going on down there? And so it was like a wildfire. It caught on. And so then we started hearing about it in the community and on my campus of Virginia State.
Can you talk a little bit about what they were doing?
Well, the young boys at Greensboro, well, of course, they decided they were going to sit in at the Woolworth lunch counter, F.W. Woolworth lunch counter at that time. And it was not something that we thought too much about, because we just, it was what it was. We were in the community, but we really were not a part of everything that went on in the community, because we went to F.W. Woolworth in Hopewell, as well as W.T. Grant and a lot of the other stores. And we knew we could not sit at the lunch counters. If we wanted something, we would buy it and take it out. But it was not until those young men in Greensboro started that spark that we realized, we do need to do something about this. But what do we do? Of course, we were students. We didn't know how to get started. I don't know if it was out of fear or just intimidation or what. But there were some people in our community in Hopewell and Petersburg who decided we are going to start something to get people interested in what is going on, especially the black community. And there was, there were some whites who also decided that we're going to join you. So I remember there were people in Petersburg, the Reverend Wyatt